Hey, and welcome back to Trim the Fat Podcast. It's a podcast designed to help us on the emotional, our spiritual, and our physical journey. I am Dr. Rhonda Garner, and today I have a friend of mine, Ashley Grady. She's an event strategist. She's a mom. She's all things glamour. I want her to tell us about herself. She'll get us going and get us all the things that's so good and glamorous about her.
Okay. Thank you, first of all, for having me.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. I am Ashley Grady. I am owner of 2 businesses. I have a mobile bartending business called Sassy Cocktails. I also have an event planning business called Ep.2 Events and Consulting. And your girl is still in the corporate world, so I do a little bit of everything.
I like it. Look, I do a little bit of everything too. So this is a little venture off too. So one of the ways I met Ashley indirectly at one of her events, the Pink Picnic,
The luxury picnic.
Yes. It was off the chain.
Thank you.
And she was really good. Even though she was sold out and had all these people there, she still was very engaging with her guests, and it was like a luxury. It was a luxury experience, and I will be coming back. So tell us a little bit about how you got into doing the event planning.
Okay, so I started with weddings. So weddings is my niche. I still am a wedding planner. However, I wanted to venture off into my own signature events. And so I started with event planning one-on-one. What I noticed was when I entered the industry, I didn't have a mentor. I could not find anyone that would help me, that would show me the ropes. You know, I did a couple of volunteering behind the scenes, but honestly, when you get down to the nitty gritty, you need help. You need guidance. You need that. What should my pricing be? How should my contracts look? That's the things people don't want to talk about.
Yep. And then you learn the hard way.
I learned the hard way.
You know why I'm saying this? Because and you might be like me. I didn't have any. I do all that stuff too. I did a mommy and me little brunch thing. It stopped after COVID, but I also do small weddings. But because I knew them, I was like, oh, okay, I don't want to charge them that much. But I'm wearing myself out. Or,
That was me.
Yeah, or I don't want to make them mad. I know I need a little bit more. Oh, okay, we'll figure it out. But I get it. But you end up just learning the ropes.
I did. There's no amount of Googling. There's no amount of getting on the wedding wire, the knot.com. There's nothing like getting in the field and experience.
It's not. And you'll learn and say, okay, been there, I'm not doing that again, or this worked.
Every event.
Have you ever had the situation where you have it in your head that how it's supposed to look, and you got it down to a T, every 1 to 100. And then one thing goes wrong, but everything else was great. And now you think the whole thing is a disaster.
How you know?
I'm just asking. Same thing. Everything, 99 things went fine.
Yes.
One thing goes wrong and you're like, okay, it was a disaster. I don't know what to do.
Oh my goodness. That has happened a few times for me. And I came up with this motto, and it's called controlling the uncontrollable. And so no matter what you plan, what you set to do, uncontrollable things are going to happen. You just got to learn how to control it.
And control our
emotions. You got to get on top of it.
So that's a good one. That's a good one. So in getting into the industry, how old were you? Like, when did you start doing this?
I started in 2017.
Okay.
To be honest, I was the family planner.
Okay.
I just didn't have a business, but I started with vacations. And so I would plan all of our trips. I was intrigued with finding the restaurants, what we were going to do. I'm going to plan the itinerary. I'm going to research the neighborhood. Around 2017 is when people started venturing away from hotels, and Airbnbs became a thing. Maybe before then, but it was really, really popular in 2017. So I was intrigued on, let me look at the neighborhood. I'm going to find us a nice Airbnb. So it started with that, right? And so one day my sister called me and she was like, hey sis, I have a friend that's going to get married out of the country. And she wanted to know if you could plan the travel for her and her guests. Well, I got on the phone with the client, and it went from planning the travel to planning the wedding.
But you like doing that stuff.
I loved it. I loved it. And, I was like, let me take a wedding. So initially I went and I became a certified wedding planner. I took this course. I spent money, and everything I learned, it helped. But like I said, being in the field, that experience, it's nothing like experience.
So tell me, I believe you and I understand and I agree 100%. That's what anything we do. It's nothing like experience because you can take all the courses you want. You can learn the book all you want. And we don't even know the experience. It depends on your city too. It's different ways things happen, the culture of the city.
Absolutely.
So you did something out of the country. But I bet you it was
I started out of the country. Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
You started out of the country. You weren't in your local little area.
I did. So I linked with a wedding planner that was local in the Bahamas, and she helped out a lot. So we tag teamed it. But it was still a great experience for me because I kept up with what she was doing. She kept up with what I was doing, and it was great.
Okay. So tell me, let's talk about some of the times where you say you have learned the hard way. Is there anything that sticks out that was like a big defining learning experience that now you carry that with you in your life, in your profession, in your most things?
It's two, and you already touched on one.
Okay.
Emotions. I'm very, very passionate. And in this line of work, sometimes people can take passion for control. And, you know, as a wedding planner, I'm the professional, right? So being that I'm the professional, you have to trust me to handle your event. You have to trust me to, quote unquote, take control and do what you're paying me to do. There are some clients that didn't necessarily, it wasn't that they didn't trust me. Maybe it was because they had someone in their ear, someone that just got married that said, you should do it this way. A parent that was funding it that said, I'm spending my money, I need to be involved. Where for me, I learned my contract is with my bride and groom, not with said parent, not with said financial advisor. True. And so I would honestly get very emotional. I would be mad, I would be sad, I would be upset. It was like an ego, you know, like a direct, like dart to my ego. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I've been doing this for a long time, but I had to learn to take your emotions out of it. You just go to people and you set your standard. You got to be very direct. Unfortunately, this is how I run my business. I understand such and such said this. However, I'm telling you, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Just trust me. So that's one. I learned to, emotions does not belong in business. It does not at all. Number two, you need a team. And I'll tell you a story. Just recently, I traveled with the Luxury Picnic. It started in Memphis, and I traveled to Chicago. Chicago is the second highest market. That's where I'm from. In the United States for events. Okay. And I went there because I used to live there, and I have family there. And so, you know, I was talking to my cousin, and she was like, you should bring the Luxury Picnic here. Let me help you with your back office. She understood the problems I had with Memphis my first year, and she was like, I really think we could bring this to Chicago. Now, Memphis Luxury Picnic was 350 people the first event. Chicago was 2,000 plus people. They didn't even know me. They didn't know us. They didn't know who we were. They supported the aesthetics of the event. They saw the event, what it had to offer, and they were down. Now, so you're traveling, right? I didn't have a team in place. It was me and my cousin, and we had another event planner. We all three worked together. 3 Black women working together to pull off an event. Of 2,000 plus folks. Of 2,000 plus people. In Maggie Daley Park. You know how iconic that is for 3 Black women to secure the entire Maggie Daley Park. So we did an ad for volunteers. We started with like 80 inquiries. Closer to the event, it went down to 40. Guess how many showed up? 5. 7. Oh, your heart broke. The event managed us. We didn't manage the event. We realized that if we had a solid team in place, a lot of things that happened that day wouldn't have never happened. You can't be in multiple places at one time when you're orchestrating an event. Everything has to be lined up. So even if those uncontrollable things happen, you got someone in place. To take care of it. Yes, we had no one in place. So, you know, the event is the Luxury Picnic. So you wear a pink. And I do let you wear white for those folks that don't like pink. I was in blue.
Why?
I never got to leave to change.
Oh, I get it.
I never got to leave.
Yeah.
It was a domino effect.
Yeah.
Things started happening. I didn't feel comfortable leaving. Yeah. And I was in blue.
I get it. I did a baby shower like that before. And I was like, I'm going to have time. Didn't have a team. And then one person I called the day before, I was like, you're going to have to help me. And I think part of that time and part of yours was that you knew how it was supposed to go. You had your people. He's like, okay, we can do it.
We could.
We can do it.
This a solid team.
Yeah.
Us three, we got it.
But numbers, rule.
Numbers. And we never imagined only 7 people to show up. We thought we had a solid 20. Out of the 40, we said half these people not going to show up, you know. Only 7 showed up. So
when you did the next time, what happened?
We paid everybody. We paid everybody.
You stayed, was on top of it.
We put it in the budget in the beginning.
Yes.
And also we learned to engage. Anybody that you hire as staff, engage with them. If your event is in September and the expectation is in March that you sign up, how many people you think gonna fall off between March and September? And all you did is send 2 emails.
That's right.
Hey, just a reminder. So I took them to lunch. We had a luncheon so everybody can get to know each other. I assigned roles. So each team had a leader.
Yes.
So we had the setup and breakdown team. We had the decor team.
This is the person. Okay.
We had the team that was over the vendors when they arrived. We had a concierge team. Anything happened. We also had my boyfriend. Shout out to him.
Okay, boyfriend. Yeah. When they involved and on point and they know it's passionate, it's your passion.
Very business savvy. Savvy. So
thank you, boyfriend.
Yes, he had a team of 10 brothers.
Yes.
They came in their luxury picnic shirts, their black jeans. They put out multiple fires.
Yes.
Because women, they'll get catty with us, but with those men.
They be like,
I just got here and somebody's sitting in my seat. Okay, come on, baby.
Yeah. But if it's
let me take you to your area. Okay.
That's so smart.
That's so
smart. That's why you are event strategist, not just event planner.
Thank you. Yes. I love it.
So I love the story. So you're really going to be helping a lot of people that's trying to get there. They probably had in their brain like, okay, I want to do it. I'm scared. Again, we talk about fears and anxieties and traumas on this podcast. And a lot of things that get us stuck is fear.
Yes.
And if you already failed once, you're really fearful of failing again.
Absolutely.
And then, but you used it in a good way. You used that fear and it fired up you to get that.
It motivated me.
Get that stand on business.
Standing on business. I said, I'm not going to be in the red anymore.
Yeah.
I refuse to be in the red. This is a great event. And it's an expensive event. I guarantee you a lot of the events that you attend are not spending the money we're spending on the luxury picnic.
Well, I can say this, and it's not just because you came to sit on here. When we've been talking, we said, well, we're going to the next one. From the time we walked up, when we had the little photo display, the people outside at a desk to make sure you're getting the right band.
Yes.
Then the drink, different bars. You're not just standing at one place to get your drink.
That's important.
You broke that up. When I tell you we shared, you had photographers in place at all through the
park. I don't like lines, so I want you to experience what I like.
Yes.
When I go out of town, I find the value in establishments where women don't have to wait in line.
Okay.
You got your heels on. Yeah. Imagine you looking how you're looking today. And you go to an event to have a good time and you spend majority of your time in line.
That's happened in Chicago.
line to get in, in line to get your drink. You're not in line for food, but how long it takes to get your food.
Right.
And you're in line for the bathroom. You're in line for everything.
Now I'm miserable and ready to go home. You can experience the luxury of the
event. Right. So that was important to me. I was very, very strategic on lines and in wait times.
I'm glad. So like going and segue into this other part of one of my questions I have for you was like in life, because you've learned some things with your experiences.
Yes.
When we're doing business, it don't have to be a big thing. It could be small business. We're doing small events or small business, or even at work, it could be some people or events that lead us up to, that take away from us, that take away from your drive, that take away from your passion, that it could be a boyfriend, it could be a friend. And I don't know how to say it, not negatively impacts your drive. Have you experienced that?
I have. And, to be honest, at this big grown age, social media has impacted me a lot. Social media opens you up to look at everybody, what this person has going on, what that person has going on. You feel like you've worked so hard. This person's success seems to have happened overnight. Or this person may have worked just as hard as me, but their skill set is not the same as mine. Their drive, their passion. I had moments of getting caught up in that. And it impacted me in a negative way.
It impacted how you performed.
It did.
How you thought about yourself. Because you talk about emotions.
Yes.
So that's another feeling on emotion. So I understand, because sometimes you can feel like, okay, it can make you want to give up on something. And then you see the other side. You did?
I did. Especially, just imagine someone has a large following, and I'm still building my following base, right? And I'm very innovative. I pride myself on doing things different.
Okay.
And imagine you come along, you say, hold on, that looks familiar. And then you see it again. Hold on, that looks familiar. And then now when you finally, you push it out there, they think you copied said person, but really said person copied you. Nobody just saw it because...
And they didn't give you recognition?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
It happens a lot.
At work too?
Yeah. At work too. That bothered me a lot. And I had to start telling myself, what God has for you, God has for you.
That's it.
What God has for them, God has for them.
That's it.
Ashley, you can't dwell on it.
And you have to take it as a compliment sometimes, even though it feels like a slap in the face. And even though it
is the highest form of flattery.
Yeah, it's true. So are there any things like that made you kind of detach from certain people, places, or things?
I would say yes, it did. Not people in general. I would say people as a whole, if that makes sense. I used to be very social. I'm very picky in the crowds that I attend, the people that I associate with, brunches, conferences, events that I attend. It has kind of put me in a shell.
Okay. Yeah, and I see you are sociable. You seem sociable. You seem like you're very outgoing and all of those things. But yeah, things change us. The way things affect us, they change us. And it's up to us to try to make the good, take the good with the bad and move forward.
That's true.
So let's talk. You talked about social media.
Okay.
And you said that sometimes that can kind of give you a different depiction of what's out there. Has that type of insight kind of affected you on how you post things and how you share things?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I used to jump ahead of the gun. You know how they say, move in silence?
Yes.
I learned to move in silence.
Yes.
And I'm not one to try to tell. I feel like if God told you to tell the people about your blessing, if social media say move in silence, you don't have to move in silence. Right. Share what God told you to share.
That's right.
However, you have to be okay with what comes with it.
Okay.
Right? So now if I'm excited and saying, oh my God, I got this new event coming. I'm going to call it the luxury picnic. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
This is just me talking. I'm trying to keep the people engaged. Yeah. I want them to be on the lookout for it.
I've done
this
that
is
numerous
what I'm going
times.
to do. And boom.
And then it didn't
somebody
happen.
that got a little bit more money, a little bit more following, a little bit more resources than you come and take that. Oh, that hurts.
It breaks your heart.
It hurts.
Because those things are kind of like, that's your baby. That's your creative thing coming. You want to see it be born and pulled into fruition, and somebody else does it. Similar, worse, or better.
Yes.
And you're like, okay.
Okay, so now I don't post it unless I know it's about to happen.
Okay.
Like within the next couple of weeks to a month.
Okay.
If not,
okay. I love that, because I have another close friend, and she always tells me, she's like, just hold off.
Just
hold. Okay. You know, I'm very guns blazing. And she's like, just hold on to it, because you know how, because I have.
We're alike then.
Yeah, and I do, but here's the thing. I have the idea. I still have fire for it.
Mm-hmm.
I have another idea. I still have fire for it.
Yes.
Then I have my daughter has ideas.
Yep.
So we still have fire for it.
Yes.
I can't do all those things, but I'm already announcing and doing this and putting a little bit here, a little bit there. Not enough. Yeah, I tell myself I've learned, and I still do. The cycle continues.
I get caught up in my excitement from time to time, but I'm no near as bad as I used to be. Like I'm still seeing myself change and kind of be in a shell. Now I share my love life. And I share things with my children. I like to relate with other moms, other people. I was married for 9 years. So, when I split from my ex-husband, I shared that journey. I wanted people to see the other side. Ooh. When people think of divorce, they think of bad. Yeah. That was good for me.
It was.
It was really, really good for me.
Okay.
My life changed for the best way. Okay. So I try to, share bits and pieces.
I like that because I'm divorced too. And, but for me, my life did change. And then of course it could have been for a long time. I had held on to that negative narrative.
Yes.
And how you beat yourself up, the emotions. And it's really, life is just happening. And it was uncontrollable. At one point, it was uncontrollable.
Absolutely.
And so now we just have to move forward. I love how you just said you used it for a positive, and it was positive for you.
Yes.
And that's where you are the woman that you are now.
Yes.
That's why you're the mother that you are now.
Yes. And I was so shocked at so many women that inboxed me that had the same story or a similar story and hadn't said anything, but they chose to inbox me and share their story with me based off the information I was posting on my page. And it just made me feel good.
Because you feel comfortable. So sometimes when you're embarrassed about something, you really don't, you don't share it. But like you said a few minutes ago, you said, if God says share something, share it. And sometimes it's that journey. It don't have to be about what's the great, quote unquote, things that's going on. It could be how the negative, it can make us better. I love how you said that. So we talked about love. It's Love Week, a Love Month. And we have on our red and our pink. So you talked about your children. You talked about your boyfriends. What's some things that you've learned from the experiences that helped you love with your children and then love with your guy? Okay,
so I'll start with my children. Patience. So when I think about my siblings and I always felt like I had the most patience, right?
Okay.
I have 2 brothers and a sister from my mom.
Okay.
And then on my dad's side, there are 6 girls. And so I always felt like I had a great amount of patience. And I'm the baby that was in my household. Okay. In my household with my 2 brothers and my sister, I was the baby.
Okay.
So when I had my own children, my patience was tested. The girl that thought she had all the patience, I was like, where'd my patience go? Yes. So I have a 9 and a 3-year-old.
Okay.
And they taught me a great amount of patience. 2 boys. My 3-year-old actually has Down syndrome. So the amount of patience dealing with a nonverbal child and, a child that can't do, a lot of the things that we call normal, quote unquote, by himself. And they just bring me so much joy. And, I find myself getting frustrated, upset, and irritated at certain things, as a mom and parenthood. And the amount of patience that they taught me to have with them, I was able to have with myself. Because I'm hard on myself. So if you're hard on yourself, you're hard on your children, right?
Yes.
You're going to be hard on your friends, on your man, on your coworkers, anybody in your life. If you're hard on you, you hold everybody in your life to the same standard.
Yes.
My children taught me that everybody is not the same. My 9 and my 3-year-old, 2 totally different kids.
Isn't that amazing though? How your children, because they come into your life for a reason.
Yes.
Because, they're your children, but they come in your life and they could be 6 months old and teach you something.
Yes.
2 months old,
Off
teach
the
you
bat.
something. And it made, so yeah, it's a blessing to have that. It's a blessing. I love how you said patience because we think sometimes we have, like you said, you thought you had it.
I did. My family would probably tell you I'm one of the most soft-spoken, patient people in our family until I had them children.
So it happens. Look, that's a whole nother. We could talk about all those type of experiences. So what about boyfriend?
That journey with him taught me about boundaries.
Look at this is a God thing because all the things that I've been writing in my journal or doing my little Bible study. It's been boundaries. It's been joy. It's been forgiveness. It's been not leading with emotions.
You're going to make me cry.
No, I'm serious. Like
I have too. I journal as well.
Okay. Well, go ahead. I just had to say it.
Boundaries. You know, when you come out of something that's a 9-year marriage, 10-year relationship, you have to look at both parties' faults. You got to look at his faults, your faults, and then what happened, right?
Okay.
And what I learned was I went through life with no boundaries. I'm a people pleaser. And I can't be like, oh, he did this and that to me. Well, why you let him over and over? I was a people pleaser.
Yeah.
My marriage mattered to me. Being a good mom, being a good wife, being a good friend, being a good sister, being a good daughter.
Ooh.
All those things matter to me. But what boundaries did I set for myself? And when I met my boyfriend, that's the very first thing that we discussed was healthy boundaries.
Yes.
Healthy communication. We were very clear on, you know, he's older than I am. He was clear on, you know, at this stage of my life, this is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. I was clear on, I done been through all of these things.
Yes.
So at this stage of my life, this is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. Here's my boundaries.
Yes.
Like, let's talk about it.
I love that. And I love that he was willing to be in that type of conversation. It doesn't matter. You did say he was older than you, but it really doesn't matter about the age when it comes to that. It matters about the maturity. And it's the emotional maturity and emotional intellect. So I love that, because a lot of men could be 55 and still have.
You're right.
And don't
That's
have
true.
it. But I like that you called that out. Like you have to have, and you have to have some boundaries with everybody, even with your children. And it's crazy how we learn that later in life. But we weren't taught that.
Nope.
And then you talked about people pleasing. I don't even know how, my therapist brought it up before. She was like, have you ever thought that you were a people pleaser? I was like, no. Then she said, you haven't? I said, no, this was a few years back after the divorce. I said, tell me more about it. What does that mean?
Right.
And I said, oh yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that. But that's what I thought that's what I was supposed to, like you said, I was supposed to. And I thought it was good for me when it really wasn't.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And my therapist brought something similar to me. She didn't ask, did I consider myself a people pleaser? She asked, why do I always have to be a fixer?
But I'm a fixer too, especially at work. But that gets me going. A fix, when it's something to fix, oh, I'm ready. But if it's boring and it's no challenge, that's me. My wheels are turning somewhere else and my mind is going. Yes. But it's a fixer. You remember Scandal, Olivia Pope?
Don't say that.
They used to call me that.
Because that's what I call myself, the Olivia Pope of event planning.
Yes, well, that's good. It's handled.
It's crazy.
Well, look, we got some fixers. If you need something with your event,
we got you.
We got you. So listen, of course, we can go on and on. I'm so glad. First of all, you said thank you to me at the beginning. Thank you for taking time. We talked for 5 seconds at her event. I sought her out on social. She was sharing some things about love. She's friends with some of my people from church. And I was like, oh, I love her post. I love your energy. So that's why I sought you. I was like, okay, I'm thankful that you came.
You're welcome.
And I hope you'll come back. And we will support.
Come back.
Yes. We got so much to talk about.
Yes.
So at the last part of this, go ahead and tell us about your events that's coming up. I know one of them is Absence of Color.
Yes.
And then you have some other events and businesses you want to share.
I sure do. So 420, I know what you guys thinking. Well, 420 is. However, this is a luxury event. It's called the Absence of Color. It's another luxury event. But this event is about celebrating you. A lot of times we start the process in January of setting our goals, our manifestations. We're going to do this. We're going to do this for the new year. But at somewhere in the middle, right before you get to the middle in that April to June mark, we need a reset. And I would like for the Absence of Color to be that reset for you. I want you to come out. I want you to dress nice. It's a cocktail party. No jeans are allowed. Being that the theme is Absence of Color, you're going to wear shades of black, gray, brown, white, anything in that family. I'm going to have complimentary food. We're going to have a saxophone player that's going to serenade you as you walk through the door, get a glass of champagne. We'll have in open bar. For those of you that don't like to mingle with a crowd, we have a VIP section. So with this VIP section, you're going to be away from everybody in your own secluded area. I'm going to create a whole vibe and setup for you. And that's April the 20th. And it's going to be at the Cordova Palace. And the page on Facebook is The Absence of Color. The tickets are on Eventbrite.
Okay, good. Good.
Yes.
How long are the tickets on sale?
I'm going to keep them on sale all the way up until the week before the event.
Okay. Well, we'll be in the building.
Yes.
I think that's a weekend I can go, and my girls will be there.
Yes,
I love
please.
it. We'll probably wear nude.
And follow the Luxury Picnic because we have a new city that we're going to debut this year.
Okay.
Memphis, of course, we're going to always do Memphis every year. Memphis is going to be September 21st. You heard it here first.
Yes.
We'll start the marketing and promotions for Memphis probably in the next month or two. But just be on the lookout. Make sure you like and follow our page on Instagram and IG.
Yes. Well, thank you.
You're
Listen,
welcome.
I hope you all got something from this conversation. I was so happy. I'm fired up. I want to go to all the events. I want to do all the events. Now, I've learned so much. So thank you. Hope you go ahead and follow her. If you want to follow us, I'm on Instagram at trim_the_fat. Also, we have a Facebook page now. It is Trim the Fat Podcast by Dr. Rhonda G. And thank you for listening.
Yay! This
Thank
was
you.
good.